Studio U time, and we're so glad that you joined us tonight. We are going to be looking at all our different types of calendars that we offer and how you can best customize them for yourself and for all the gifts that you like to give. Calendars are just a really fun project, and we always have lots of questions and people seeking for tips and tricks. So without further ado, I'll introduce who's on the call. I'm Cynthia Kulan. I'm the product manager for Heritage Makers, and we've got Roxanne Buckholt. She's our creative team manager and the one who brings us lots and lots of wonderful templates and ideas and how-tos for designing keepsakes with Heritage Makers. And we've got Brooke Mayer on the line as well, and she will be the one answering questions that you feel free to type into the question box, and she'll do her best to answer those, and we'll also try to answer some online as we go along. So thanks for both of you for joining us. Before we turn the time to Roxanne, I'm going to give away some publishing points. That's one of the fun things I get to do on these classes. I've chosen a name out of the attendee list, and the person is Mary 4. So Mary, thank you for joining us, and we'll have Brooke put 25 publishing points in your Heritage Makers account. All right, Roxanne, well, are you ready to take it away?
I am. Well, I'm great to be here tonight. This is exciting. Kind of with calendars, it's always the kickoff of our holiday season. So we've got lots of great ideas to think about, and then we'll jump into studio, and I'll show you how to handle some of those calendar grids and work with some managed pages. All right, first we're going to start with some options for calendars. There's always such a big decision to make when it comes to calendars. We've got lots of great sizes and design options. How do we know which one to choose? We've got, the traditional is the standard kind of the 11 by 8.5 calendar, and that's the one that's wire bound at the top and opens and kind of has like the 2 pages top and bottom. I think then we introduced the 11 by 16 calendar, which is also wire bound at the top and hangs. It's like one solid page. It doesn't fold in half like the 11 by 8.5 does. And a lot of people worry that this one might take up too much space, like hanging on a cork board or in someone's office. But if you notice, if you open up the 11 by 8.5, it actually turns into an 11 by 17 calendar. So the 11 by 16 is obviously 1 inch shorter in size than the full open traditional calendar. So something to consider. We also, in the last couple of years, have introduced this wonderful Now and Later calendar. If you haven't heard about it or seen it, you've got to check it out. This is a scrapbooker's dream. You are able to put your design up here, which actually turns out to be a 12 by 12 scrap page. And then there's perforations that run along here and the top. And after the calendar is done, you'll see once we go inside, there's a calendar grid down here at the bottom of each calendar month spread. You're able to tear off the bottom and tear it away from the wire-o binding, and you're left with a scrap page. And then you can put it in your post-bound album or frame it or give it as a gift, whatever you like. So this is like kind of the gift. You give it once maybe for the holidays, and it keeps on giving. It's actually multiple gifts because you could have multiple things with the 12 or actually 13 different scrap pages that you save. And recently, we just introduced, probably less than a month ago, this brand new 10 by 4 desktop calendar. It's adorable. It's nice and small, and it'll fit right on your desk. It also has a wire binding at the top, and it's great because it actually has a built-in easel. So it's nice and steady, so it sits like a little triangle basically on your desk. So this is a great new option to consider. All right, let's go ahead and jump in and see what template gallery inspiration we have tonight. All right, we're going to start with our traditional 11 by 8.5 calendars. And like I said before, there's kind of like a top page and a bottom page when you open these up. This is one of my favorite ones that's come out recently. This one's You Make Me Smile by Leanne Rice-Barr, one of our creative team members. And I love this one. It's so fun. It's, all her children are featured on all the pages. And each page has a different, you are my reason to smile, or my reason to celebrate, you're my reason to laugh, all these great sayings. All you need to do really is just drop and swap in your own family pictures, and it is ready to go. Very adorable. And then we also have this great colorful patterns calendar by our own Brooke Mayer. This is actually a basic calendar, so this is great for the people who don't have Premiere yet. It's very cute, lots of great, organized photo placements, and still you're able to change out the papers and the photos if you like, but it's a great layout, ready to go. There's lots and lots of different templates. We've got, vintage templates and traditional templates and very modern templates, so we probably have something in the template gallery that will work as a base to get you started. Lots of great things. This one here is Life Every Day by Cynthia, and this is also a basic template. This one just makes me smile. It kind of feels like, a summer day or a spring day and you're out at a picnic with a little plaid here in the background, and it's kind of fun because she's got these colored pages here. They're still light enough that they're easy to write on, but it adds a nice different dimension instead of just always having a white background page. So nice bright colors, easy to work with. And then we also have this Natural Contemporary Calendar by Jill Means, who was one of our original creative team members. This is just a wonderful design. It's been one of our most popular designs over the years, and we kind of update it every year to kind of give it a new look and feel. But it's got a great, stylish, kind of modern feel to it. And this is the calendar I just showed you by Jill, and she's made this set of artwork that are all PNG files, which are portable network graphics. They're very easy to colorize, and all we're going to do is we're actually going to go to the studio right now for a little quick demo on how to use your little eyedropper tool in your toolbox to change colors to fit what your photos look like. The original in Jill's calendar looks like this for May, and this is her daughter, and she's chosen to use the orange color here. But say I'm working on my calendar and I put in my little baby daughter's pictures here with the pink. Well, the orange doesn't really work. So these PNG files or artwork, with the click of or just the little sampling of the eyedropper tool, you're able to pick a color and change these quickly and easily. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to grab my studio over here and pull it in. And I've already got it pre-open here. So just a couple things. As you're getting started in Studio, for those of you that are new, we have the design guides here that give you little tips and tricks and tell you what all the safe areas are and the crop marks. So once you learn your way of how to navigate, I usually just go ahead and turn those off. And if you can see over here in the upper right-hand corner, you can just click that and it turns it off to give you a clean working surface. The other trick is here's your toolbox here. We can open it up. We also have the other option of toolbars, they're called, which show up down below whatever object you select. So you can adjust here, change color, but I tend to prefer to work in the toolbox. So up here under View, you can go ahead and select which one you want to work with. I'm going to turn off the toolbar, so I'm going to click on that and just turn those off for now. So let's go ahead and take a look at this cover real quick. These are little pink dandelions. We're going to go up here under the Effects tab, and we can see that there's 100% fill color on in that color of salmon or pink. Let's say we just want to make those white. We're just going to click on the little arrow. Down here, you got to click right on the arrow, and we're just going to grab white from the background. So you could make it white. Or you can click on one, and let's say we want to make it any color. See how I'm dragging over the different eyedropper tool? It can grab different colors. Whatever you're pulling over, it's sampling the color. So we could make it a kind of a light lavender color if we wanted to. So you've got the option to change this art really easily. Here's kind of a green color. Let's say you wanted a brighter green. You have the option of clicking on the little color box. You can either grab a color from our little color picker thing here, or you can actually go down to, let's go to Art Collections. And what I like to do, if I'm not sure what color green I want to choose, I just type in the word green, and it'll bring up all the different art collections and little embellishments. And I can kind of just search through the different embellishments, and then I can actually grab my little fill color eyedropper again and go down, and I can actually sample right out of the artwork below. See, there's a dark green, And here, how about this bright green here, this little bit brighter green? Great. So it's real simple and easy to do. Let's go and work on another spread quickly. Let's go to this spread here. We're going to change out the photos. Let's see my photos. I'm working on a calendar. I'm going to go to my albums, and I'm going to find some fun family photos down below. So let's see how quickly we can change this page. All right, I'm going to use these yellow sunflower pictures here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to click, and everything will be locked when you first open the template, and you'll get this drop photo here to swap. So you want to take your photo, drag it up, and drop it exactly into this red rectangle shape right in there. Perfect. And then I'll grab another one. How about just some sunflowers? And let's see if the girls will fit in here. And let's try this one here. All right, when the photos drop in, sometimes they're not exactly centered or positioned the way you want them to be. So let's go ahead and take this one here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the toolbox. I'm going to go to Tools, Adjust, and I'm going to scale that up a little bit. I'm going to make it a little bigger so that I can center this girl here in the photo, and then say Done. Easy. This one needs to be adjusted a little bit too, so I'll make them a little bit larger. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on it and then just slide it over and then say Done. Great. And these girls could probably go down a little bit. Great. Done. Okay. Well, so now the dandelions don't really work. We can change those into kind of a sunflower look. We could either keep the dandelions if you wanted to. We'll go to Effects, Fill Color. I'm going to click on the little arrow. And with my eyedropper tool, I'm going to pick a yellow color that I like. Great. So now you would just do your second one, go over, and since I won't go back to the same flower because you might not get the exact same yellow. I'm going to go to the dandelion that already has the right yellow in it. So you can do something like that. But if you didn't want to use dandelions, let's see how the art works here. Let's go down to our art collections. I'm going to type in flower, and let's see what comes up. Working with PNG files, basically these are all PNG files because they have a transparent background, if you will. All the embellishments are PNG, but we want to find a shape that has a lot of kind of openings. We don't want a flower that's solid because you won't see those little details. So let's see what I can find here. Let's see some more. So that shows me that there's more available that the little bar across isn't showing. So I'm going to scroll down and look for some more flowers. All right, let's just kind of jump down here, see what I can find. Let's see. We could use something like this. You can use things that aren't solid, and then we're just going to add 100% fill so that they become solid. See how this turned it into kind of a dandelion, not a dandelion, but more of a daisy or sunflower looking shape. So see, this one had nice little areas that showed through still. So we can grab the corner and make it a little smaller. We can click on this one, unlock it, and hit the delete key button on your keyboard. And then we can just move this one over into place. So same with this one, we'll unlock it and delete on your keyboard. We can take this flower, we can do a copy. You can copy up here in the upper right. You can also do edit, copy, or you can do Control-C. And the same with the paste. You're able to paste another one in several different locations. You can find it as well. So this is a quick and easy way you can change out the PNG elements or the embellishments into something else to fit what your photos are telling it kind of to do. So this is how you customize easily with any of these PNG files. Did everybody get how that works?
Yeah, looks like we're good.
Okay, great. Well, that was a quick little demo. We're going to do some more a little later on. Let's go back to our PowerPoint and see what we've got. All right, I know I'm moving quickly. We've got a lot of information to cover, but this class is recorded, so if you miss anything, you can go back a couple days later. We'll post it, and you can listen again and catch maybe the template IDs or, share your some of the tips and tricks with your friends, too. So it is being recorded. We're going to move on now to the 11 by 16 wall calendars. These are great. They're a little bit different, of course, than the traditional calendar, and they make a big impact when hanging in your office or on your corkboard, maybe in the laundry room where you've got all your, or the mud room. So this is a great new one from Anna Bates. I love this one, In the Clouds. It's colorful and fresh. It's simple and easy to use. It's just going to require, I think it's 2 photos per month. It's wonderful. All the grids are placed, and once again, it uses these great PNG elements in the background, which can easily be colorized, or if you wanted your April to be kind of a pinky purple, just use your eyedropper tool like I just showed you and just grab a little bit from the swatchy tape, and then you can change the background as well as the little Easter eggs in the back. So great design, fun to play with. And then we also have this wonderful calendar from Michelle Bell. Michelle's one of our creative team members, and she's just wonderful. She's done so many great calendars and yearbooks. She's just got a flair for these. So, be sure to check out a lot of her designs. There's so many more designs that we're not showing here tonight, so be sure to look through the template gallery to see those. This design has been very popular. Chevrons are very hot and on trend. They have been in fashion for the last couple of years, and they're still very popular this year. The chevrons run on every page of the calendar. They're just kind of in different forms, so it's fun to see all the different chevrons that are used throughout. It's got a little bit more of a traditional scrapbook feel to it, kind of like lots of bits and pieces and layered and lots of fun quotes. So this is a really fun one to play with. It's got a nice big calendar grid on it, so it's easy. It gives you space to write. But yet it does allow you to use lots of different photos too, which can be in black and white or color, or you can do a mix of both. It looks great. Anyway, you can definitely mix the two together. And then there's other calendars that use very few photos. A lot of times, we're struggling to find the photos that we need and we don't have a lot of time. We have lots of options with maybe 1 or 2 photos per page. I love this design from Carrie Peratt. It's Retro Household. It's actually, she's also designed the art collection that goes along with each of this calendar grid design. It's just wonderful. It's playful. It's fun. I think this would be a fun, great calendar to give to, friends, people that you want to give a little something to. The photos are actually small enough that you might be able to, stalk a friend on Facebook if you would, and, grab a few photos here and there. They're not large, so you don't need super great high resolution, but that would work with photos from Facebook in this one. So nice, quick, easy to do, and it's a lot of fun with these great little things. Oh, and just calling it out too. I think last year we introduced doing U.S. calendars as well as Canadian calendars. So the designers have been very generous this year with the time and have done most of the calendars with U.S. grids and then a separate version with Canadian grids as well. So it's kind of nice. We usually used to do all U.S. grids, and then our Canadian friends would have to replace all the grids. So this year, most of the designs have both U.S. and Canadian versions. So be sure to look for which one you're looking for and grab the right one. All right, there's lots of the pre-designed grids, which I've been showing so far, but you can also use your own custom grids, if you will, design your own. Michelle Bell did this great design. It's a basic calendar, and she wanted maximum space for writing lots of details on each day. So she's actually created each of these little calendar squares just out of pieces of paper that she's cropped and kind of placed. It's kind of got a little haphazard look to it. It's not super tight on a grid. You could straighten them out if you want. But it adds a little bit of fun to it. But you're certainly welcome to design your own grids based on squares, and then you just add text boxes for the numbers if you'd like. We definitely have several options like that in the gallery, so it'll give you a starting point to work with. All right, and this is also a basic set. This is a new one I did this year. I wanted something that was like fun and playful. I chose this fun, fresh color palette, but I wanted it simple. So I kept it just these kind of photo blocks with simple blocks of color. And I thought of it this way. If someone has more photos, they could actually fill up all these boxes with photos. If they have less, they can just make some of the photo boxes that you see now just color boxes or fill them with pattern papers. I kept it simple because you could either leave it this way and just kind of go with the color blocking, which is very popular right now through fashion. You see it everywhere. Or you can, design it up a little bit, if you will, and put on your favorite embellishments. It would be easy to add, something, cute here, a couple of little flowers in each of the spots, something, butterflies would be cute. I mean, you can embellish it as much as you'd like. So it's a great, easy calendar to work with. Each calendar page is a different color, and then photos from each of the month spreads are featured here on the cover. All right, so this one, some of you have heard about QR codes and some that you haven't. I wanted to show you guys this calendar. This is a wonderful calendar. It's so clever. I'm not going to go into a lot of QR code information right now because I've done a class on that before, which is recorded. So if you wanted more information about QR codes, let's see, I'm going to actually grab my studio here for a minute. If you see this little Need Help tab here, if you click on that, it will bring up our little knowledge base here. And you can actually type in QR codes into the help, and it will show you this article here, using QR codes on your HM projects. It will walk you through what a QR code is, how you scan it, how you get the reader. And then down at the bottom, if you scroll down, there's actually the recorded class here with a link. So you can click on that and it will take you to the recorded class link. But basically, what you do is you create these QR codes, and then you actually save them as a JPEG and upload them just as you would a photo into your Heritage Makers photo album. And then you just place it like you would a photo. But the viewer, whoever you send this calendar to, and Linda was sending this to her family and her grandchildren. So each of the grandchildren has their birthday listed on the calendar, and she did a special recording for each of them. You'll need to create a YouTube account, a free account, and it saves a little recording. So it's Linda talking to her grandchildren and wishing them happy birthday. It's wonderful. There's actually several real QR codes in place, so you can actually hold your phone up with a QR reader to her calendar in the template gallery and actually scan it, and it will show you Linda talking to her grandkids. It's wonderful. So if you happen to love the design but you're not a big fan of QRs or don't have time to do that, you can go ahead and just click on them and delete them off, or they act just like a photo, and it'll show you the drop to swap when it's in the lock position, and you can drag in your grandchild's, a photo of, the picture of them right on their birthday. So lots of different options with this. Be sure to check out the QR codes. It's just fun. It gives life to all your projects. We also have some vintage calendars. This is one I did for my family. I did the whole, with the legacy edition of the book, and I told our whole family history, and I created this calendar to go along with it. I actually took the time and put these special little tags on it with everybody's birthday and, how old they were on it, and this whole collection was made for my great aunt, and she still lives by this calendar. So I actually made this calendar 2 years ago, and we were talking about something the other day. She goes, well, let me pull up my calendar and check how old he is or something. So she still uses this calendar, and it's fun to, go back and look at the old family photos, the vintage photos that are laying around in shoe boxes and stuff. They're easy to scan, and putting them in this format really brings your family history to life. So if you haven't done, a lot of genealogy or family history, this is a great way to get you started. You don't need a lot of family photos, but, there's beautiful family quotes, and it's a great way to get you started. All right, now on to our now and later calendars. These are the best invention ever. This is one of my favorites. This one is Our Year, and this is the 2015 version by Cynthia Coulon. And it's just great. Like I told you before, these are all individual scrap pages that will be torn off. When you're done with January, you tear it off and you save this part. All of these are individual scrap pages that Cynthia has designed, and they are in the template gallery as individual scrap pages as well. But then she was able to use the import page feature and bring in the scrapbook page, the 12 by 12, import it on the page, fill up the top part, and all she needed to do then was to add a paper in the background here and add on a calendar grid. It was very easy to do. I know a lot of people do the scrap pages, so you've already got a nice library of scrap pages built up. You can use the import page to make a calendar of all your favorites, or maybe you haven't published lately and you've been saving your scrap pages in your studio. It's a great way to put them on here, and then you've got 13 scrap pages when you're done with the calendar at the end of the year. Wonderful. Like I said, it's a Scrapbooker's dream. I actually started these pages, were all started as scrap pages, and I thought I'd do a monthly theme. So they are also in the template gallery as individual scrap pages as well. But I thought, oh, they'd make such great, a now and later calendar. So I did the same thing. I just import the page, and then I stretched the paper to fill up all the way to the bottom and added some calendar grids and a couple of little embellishments down at the bottom. But it's a great way to show off a scrap page and remember what happened in that month of August. We went to the beach, and my baby played in the sand, or we had a family photo shoot in November. These were my favorite photos. I just kind of love this kind of fresh scrapbook look. It's very fun. I really like this one this year. So it's the favorite one I designed so far this year. All right, here's another one from Cynthia. This is a great everyday calendar. It's very simple, and yet it's stylish and modern. You only need, I think it's 1, 2, maybe a couple spreads have 3 photos, but it's very simple. But I love this calendar because I actually think when you tear this away, I probably would frame these 12 by 12s and use them as seasonal prints the following year, because it's easy to put in a 12 by 12 frame. Put a little, a little frame stand or kind of the plate display holder, and put it right on your countertop or dresser. So it would be a great seasonal thing for afterwards too. And every year we do a family yearbook, and we also do calendars. This whole studio team works off of grayscale maps, and we come up with these projects together. So each of the creative team members has done a scrap page. So these exist in the template gallery as well as individual pages if you prefer it that way. Or we've gone ahead and imported them in, so there's these great scrap pages all ready for you. It's more of a traditional look too, lots of bits and pieces. Feel free to add more, take some off if you like a cleaner look. Everything is changeable and movable, which is something I love about the Heritage Makers Studio. All right, and I think this is our last one maybe I'm showing here for the wall calendars. This is a motivational calendar by Brooke Mayer. This is a great idea. It's kind of something that really doesn't need to be customized if you don't want to. It's really done and ready to go. This would be great for maybe, it's got a little bit more of a masculine feel to it, but you could easily change it out maybe with more girly papers, if you will, to be more feminine. But this is a great look for a man that you could hang this in his office and remember these inspirational, motivational quotes. You can also personalize it a bit more if you wanted to add their name or some embellishments. It's a great look, but it's a wonderful starting point and would work well. A lot of corporations, too, do a lot of calendars during the holidays. I could see this being, a holiday gift from a business. All you would need to do would, maybe move these up a little bit and add a company logo. But this would be a great gift so people throughout the year remember your business, and a nice quote with it as well. Yes, and now here's our newest calendar. Are you guys getting excited about the new calendar? I think it's a great little option to have. It's something totally different that we haven't done before. So we're having lots of fun designing these new calendars. It's the 10 by 4 desktop calendar, which I talked about before. It has a wire binding on the top, and it has a built-in easel, so it will stand up on the desk. So we've got lots of great options already in the template gallery ready for you to go. These would be wonderful as holiday gifts. I'm thinking of doing a couple for my family, a couple different templates in here I'm going to use. And I'm probably going to pair it, like I'll put it in a gift bag, you know, with some cute little tissue, and then maybe do a coordinating notepad and, you know, some pins, some other things, maybe an ornament, and make a nice little gift bag for, you know, friends or family. So this is what we call the corkboard calendar. It's just fun. This allows you to put 3 photos in, and then it's got a little different with a white calendar. It will still, the corkboard is light enough that you can write in regular pen if you wanted to, but you could also use one of the marker or paint pens. Would also work in, like, you know, silver or white if you wanted to. So that's fun. And we also have this other one here from Brooke Mayer. This is a family dates list, which I thought was really clever too. Instead of doing the traditional calendar route, it's just, she has all the dates here listed, and you'll just write in, like, Bobby's birthday is on January 5th, so you write Bobby and 12 years old. So you just keep everybody's birthday and anniversary just written down, and actually it doesn't last just for 2015. It's called a perpetual calendar. It actually is good forever because you're not actually putting the calendar dates in the exact Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if you will. So this is a great calendar that will last a long time. And some other designs, we've got, you know, we've built these calendars so, you know, you can use 1 photo, 2 photos, 3 photos, multiple photos. We've given you lots of different options, places to start with. Once again, the papers and the colors with the color picker eyedropper tool are easy to customize. I would just grab colors right from your own photos. It'll be perfect, and they will coordinate wonderfully together. And this is an option here with lots of photo options. So you can either fill up all the squares with photos if you want. If you don't have that many, I started here with 2 pattern papers. Go ahead and add another pattern paper if you want to, if you don't have that many photos. You know, add inspirational quotes, embellishments, you know, whatever you want. You know, your imagination is the limit. So just, you know, have at it, have fun, do whatever you want. I think Cynthia was the designer on these great little calendar grids here. These are already pre-designed, so you just drop them in on the side. There's nothing you need to do, so they're nice and easy, and they're really cute. All right, and I wanted to show you this one too. I started doing this calendar here, which I call the Seasons of Change, and it's kind of got this colorful pastel background, and I like it too, but I'm a little bit more conservative. I kind of like my neutral backgrounds with pops of color. So I actually did this calendar, and I said, I wonder what would happen if I just simply changed the background color. So I would click on each of the background papers, and in the lock position, I get that drop to swap button, and I just dropped in a tan paper on every single one of them. So here's one version. Nothing else moved here. I just changed the background color. So you can see how taking a template, you can change it up with a simple change of 1 paper in the background. You know, you might be a person who loves, you know, maybe more the earth tones of the moss green and, you know, the goldenrod colors. Easy. You can completely change the look of this calendar by swapping out the background papers alone. Like I said before, these make great holiday gifts. The wonderful thing about calendars is that you can make one, you get it all set up the way you want it with your family photos, and then you print multiples. So this is what I do with my family calendar. I make one, I make it for my side of the family, I make it for my husband's side of the family, the cousins, the aunts. Everybody gets one. Everybody wants one because it's got the family photos in it. I put in all the birthdays for them. So it's a great way to tackle multiple gift giving at the same time without having to make all these individual gifts. You can do a little customization for each one, but it's easy. Just go ahead and get one calendar that you love done and then print multiple copies of it. This is based on the family vintage one that I showed you earlier, the bigger one. I did a smaller desktop version this year. My aunt is getting a copy of this. And then Brooke did this more modern, simple approach to the calendar. She's actually created her own custom grid here, so it's not based on one of our pre-designed grid, and she's given you this great space to write into. Great idea. All right, and we're going to cover drop to swaps real quickly. For those of you that use maybe a different software that you're used to using and you love using, you can actually save all those, either your scrapbook pages, or I know you work with calendar grids as well. Go ahead and save those as JPEGs. Upload them as you would a photo to your Heritage Makers photo album. And Helen Watt has come up with these drop-to-swap templates. Basically, they're single image drop-to-swap. You'll be able to click on the top part here for this now and later calendar, and you'll drag and drop in your 12 by 12 scrap page. It will fit perfectly into the top area here. And then you can either use our pre-designed grids, or there's also a version, you can actually, for this one, you can just delete off of our pre-designed grids, and the gray paper you'll be able to drag and drop to swap in your calendar grid in this bottom section. So all of our calendars are set up that way. You can drop in your image or your scrap page, either use our pre-designed calendar grid, or go ahead and drop in your own grid that you've already pre-designed somewhere else. So we've done these now for each of our calendars, and even for our new 10 by 4 desktop calendar. There's a single image drop, so you can do your grid and pictures all in one and then import it in, or there's a two kind of drop to swap one. You could probably put your calendar grid here and a photo here, or you can put a small grid here and larger photos here. It's completely up to you. So we also have, I did a class on drop to swaps, and on our main website, let's go back over there. Let me show you that quickly here. If you go back to the home page on our site, down at the bottom here under Get Help, if you click on Tutorials and Classes, scroll down, you will see all of our classes that we have archived. Right here is the drop to swap templates video, so be sure to watch that to learn more about drop to swap. And if you click on the archive classes, it goes back for years of all the different classes we've done. And there's also other great tutorials up here about how to use things within Studio. So great resource. All right. Oh, and then now it's probably sneak peek time. So Cynthia, we'll have you back on.
Yeah, go ahead and leave the slide here for a second so I can give away some points before I give my little peek there. Okay, so I've got the name of Marge Mitchell. So Marge is the next winner of our 25 publishing points tonight, and we'll get Brooke to put those into your account in the next couple of days. So thanks. This has been a great class so far, Roxanne, and people have really been enjoying all the templates that are available. And Roxanne has showed us how easy it is to customize them with our photos and colors and everything else. So lots of great things, and those drop to swaps are certainly useful and enjoyed by a lot of people. So let's see, what I've got is another new calendar. So we brought in the desktop calendar just a few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago, and now we've got, by request, an 8 by 12 now and later calendar. So this is the little sister of the larger 12 by 18 now and later calendar. It's also perforated, but the perforations and the size allow you to take off the top as an 8 by 8 scrap page. So, and also 8 by 8 frames are things that I see in hobby and craft stores as well. So it's a cute size. I've played with it. It should be available coming up the last week of October. So you still have plenty of time to make it for yourself and for gifts. And certainly if you've already made or like some of those larger now and later calendars, it would be super easy to import those designs onto this 8 by 12 Now and Later calendar. So I hope this is something that you'll all enjoy. I know that when I showed it off at a little longevity meeting, a big longevity meeting actually that we had a couple of weeks ago, people just loved it, loved that size. So you can all enjoy that, and we will let Roxanne show us some more.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this calendar. I love the Now and Later one, and this one just looks adorable. Like it's just going to be like a cute little mini one, so I will definitely be making some of these. All right, so now we're going to move into today's lesson. We're going to show you how to work with those pre-designed calendar grids and the Manage Pages feature. A lot of the things I'll show you tonight with the Manage Pages feature, it works with calendars, but it works with just about every product we have, especially with our storybooks. You'll definitely want to learn how to use that effectively. All right, so what the pre-designed calendar grids are and what most of our calendar templates use in them are these pre-designed grids. They're basically saving you time and the hassle of having to create, every little individual line and line up the little squares, add the text boxes for the numbers and the days. So they're all one piece of artwork that drops in. It's clear behind. It's basically just the black part that you see that drops in. So they're just pre-designed. They're all laid out. So we have options for the U.S. Version, the Canadian version, and there's also a plain version as well. Call it the blank version. So there's no holidays listed at all. So make sure when you're grabbing and working on your templates, make sure you grab the right ones. Sometimes I'll show you in the gallery when you're grabbing the artwork to use. They kind of look the same when you're looking at the small little arts collections down below, but make sure you grab the U.S. and the Canadian one or the blank one, and that you continually use that one throughout your project. It's easy to kind of mix up the two. If like you did half the calendar one day and you came back later and picked up again, they look the same except for where the holiday placements are. So be aware of that. All right, so a lot of times people get this notion in their head that they don't want to work with pre-designed calendar grids because you're stuck with what we've given you. So for instance, this has a little script October. Maybe you like a more contemporary styling and want to do a sans serif face, but you think you can't use this grid because this is on here. But we've got so many great tools in Studio. What if you used your crop tool? You can easily crop out the October and you're left with this. So it's easy to crop out the month or the days. Down below, I've cropped out both the month and the days, and then you can put your own back in if you wanted to. You are also not limited to the size and the proportions that they come in. Here is a version that we use these a lot for now and laters, or if we want maybe the 11 by 16 calendar and we want more photographic space, then we want the grid. We want the grid smaller instead of taking up half the page basically. So if you to unlock the proportions basically to make the grid disproportional, you're going to grab on either a side or a corner, and while holding down the shift key on your keyboard, you're going to drag it in or out, and that will change things disproportionately. You can see how this one is the same width, but I've kind of squished it a little bit top to bottom. So if you just want to keep the same proportions, you'll just grab a corner and just drag it up and down, and that will keep the proportions in check. But if you want it disproportional, remember the key is to hold down your shift key, and then it'll let you do kind of funny things with the proportions if you want. You are also able to change the color of the grid, once again, by using that color fill tool, the color picker with the eyedropper. So you can do lots of different things, even though these are called pre-designed grids. So lots of flexibility to them, even though they're already designed. But they save you the hassle of having to put in all the different holidays and get the dates just right and everything. So they're wonderful, a great starting place. All right, and we're also going to talk about Manage Pages. Manage Pages, if you haven't found it yet, it's over here. Here's a little picture of my studio. On the right-hand side here, you'll see Manage Pages, and then you'll see your front cover, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all your pages down the side. Sometimes this little thumbnails get hidden, and all you need to do is there's a couple little line thing here that will slide in and out so you can show it or close it if you don't want to use it. But usually I always just leave mine open so I know where my pages are. But the great thing about Manage Pages, instead of just taking you to page 2 or wherever you want to be, if you click on that Manage Pages button, it will show you this page here. And at the top, you'll see, this is a blown-up version of it, you can add pages, you can click on a page, you can duplicate the page, you can remove a page, and if you click on any of the pages, thumbnails in here, you are able to click and drag them around and move them in different locations. So, which is great. Sometimes you definitely need to move pages around or spreads around. I made the mistake the other day. I started a calendar on January instead of making the calendar, so making the cover. So the cover was actually the last page of my calendar. So luckily with Manage Pages, I was able just to go in there. I drug up the calendar from the bottom, the cover, and pulled it right into the first position. Easy to do. Usually what I do is I go ahead and I design my page 1 and my page 2, which would be the calendar grid. And once I have that set up neatly, I just duplicate that grid page multiple times because I know instead of starting each grid page from scratch, I've got the basic layout, the paper's in place, the grid's in place, and I just have to swap it out with the next month. So it's a great way to make multiple pages to duplicate. All right, and now it's studio time. So go ahead, and if you have any questions, go ahead and start typing those in, but I'm going to show you some tips and tricks about calendars here. All right, here is that color block calendar that I did earlier. Let's go. I'm going to go work on this month here. A couple of things to note on calendars as well as other projects. Most of these papers have a fill on them. If it's solid, you'll notice there's 100% fill of the green. So let's say this is a little too contemporary for me, and I'd rather use, patterned paper in it. Let's go to our art collections. I still want to keep the green because we're working on March. I'm going to go ahead and type in green paper and see what I can find here. Let's see. All right. Perfect. I think this will work. It's a similar color, but you can choose any color you want. I'm just going to pull the paper up. Let's see, where's the background? Okay, I'm not finding my drag to drop, so I need to bring it down a little bit. Let's see, there it is. It was just hidden. So find the little red button in the middle and drop it. But if you notice, actually, I can, let's say this wild paper here, I want it. You drop in papers. Have you ever done this before? You've dropped in a paper somewhere and you don't see it, so you think it doesn't work? Well, go ahead and go over to your toolbox, and you'll see that there's probably 100% fill on it. So go ahead and back that off to 0 so you can see the crazy paper now. So, there it is. So let's drop the right green paper I want to use now. Great. So there's the normal green paper. And then let's go ahead, instead of these solid fill boxes, let's use these kind of pattern papers instead. So I dropped it again and it didn't show up. So once again, the fill color is on. So go ahead and back that off. We'll do this one. Let's see what this one is. Drop, fill. Let's turn the fill off. And that pattern is really hard to see. It's tiny because it drops into proportional to the size of the box. So let's go ahead to our toolbox. Click on Tools. We're going to Adjust, and I'm going to scale it up. Oh, there's a cute pattern paper in the background, and then I'll just say Done when I get it to the size that I like. I think the little polka dots should be bigger too. So let's say Done. Great. So now we've kind of added in, it's still contemporary feeling, but it's a little bit different. Still a little too plain. So we are in March, so let's go ahead and go to our art collections and type in Shamrock. Let's see what we can find in the Shamrock family. So this is great because you can play and just have lots of fun. So there's lots of cute little embellishments you can add. So this is how the design really becomes your own, and it's no longer a template. It's really your design. So half the time when people start with these templates, by the time they're done, no one would ever recognize it as a template, which is wonderful. So we're going to make him a little smaller. When an embellishment is too big or too small, just grab on the corner and drag it up to make it smaller. So great, maybe a little bit smaller. Done. Great. I mean, it's that simple. All right, the other trick I want to show you is I know some of the software out there allows you to click on the pre-designed calendar grid and easily click on it and add a birthday or a name. Our system doesn't allow us to do that, but I'm going to show you a quick way to add in a text box and how you'll easily be able to duplicate that. So I just went down to my text boxes and grabbed, it doesn't matter which one you grab because you're probably going to change the size and the font anyway. So what I do is say, let's say we have a family birthday on the 11th. See how I'm taking the little text box? Let me go in a little bigger so you can see it here, because the green on the green is a little hard. I usually take my text box and pull it right into the corner, and then I grab the corner, and then I pull it to the exact width of the date square, if you will. So let's say, we're going to say Bobby's 12th birthday. Okay, so my text box is closed. That's why it's hidden a little bit, so I'm just going to drag it open a little bit. So there, I've got Bobby's 12th birthday, but it's a little tight to the top, if you will. So I'm going to go ahead to my tools, and here with the margin, I'm going to adjust the margin. See how it's moving down? So I can adjust where that fits. So that, to me, seems like a good spacing because I could add multiple birthdays. So what I'm going to do next is whenever I have someone else's birthday, I'm going to do a copy and a paste. And then all I need to do is, so I'm not fiddling with where the placement is to match, I know that this text box fits perfectly up in that corner. So this is Jerry's 47th birthday, let's say. So let's go back out. So you have no doubt that everything's positioned in the exact same spot every time. So I love that little trick. I hope that helps you out with placing in those text boxes. All right, everybody doing great? Do we have any questions?
People are doing fine with what you're showing. I just wanted to mention to a few of you that are asking questions, and I know that you're very new to HM. On heritagemakers.com/tutorials, there are our recent classes and archived classes, and if you go there and take a look, you can find some classes called Getting Started, Studio 101. We have a Getting Started Part 1 and a Getting Started Part 2, and those are really great because they walk you through all the basics, all those fundamentals. So I would recommend that you take some time and do that, and that would really speed you along in your designing in Studio.
Absolutely, yeah, they're great resources. So let me show you a quick, I just dropped in this grid here. Let's show you how to crop it. So this grid is now locked. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to unlock it here in my toolbox. I just unlocked it, and now I'm able to crop it. So it'll give you this crop. I can move it around. So I'm just going to position it here, and then I'm going to drag the corner down over the next part and say done. So it has cropped out that March headline up there. You can either add a text box and type in the word if you want to, or you can go down to our art collections and type in March. And we've got lots of great different word art that you can use. You can see all our different calendar grids available. If you don't like this grid, you can drop to swap it out. Let's see our word arts. Lots of different things. Let's just do this one because it's really different. So, and then you just size the way you want to. So you can have them all match, or you can have them all different, whatever you want. All right, if everybody's good with this, I think I'll move to a now and later calendar for the last few minutes.
That's a great plan.
Okay, great. Let's go back. Let's see what I've got here. All right, let's go to drop to swap. Or no, now and later. All right, let's get this one open real quick. So I'll show you clearly where the perforations go on this one. And we can probably do a quick import page too to show you how that works. If I work really fast here, if we're running out of time. It always goes so fast. All right, so clearly when you open the template, it wasn't clear really on the little pictures in the PowerPoint, but you can see how there's a wire binding at the top, and then there's a perforation line down here. So you can see. So you just want to make sure that your project, your scrap page, 12 by 12, is clearly above this red line where the perforations will go. You can do an import page to get the top part in and then just add in our pre-designed grid. I just took the paper that was behind my scrap page and I just spread it all the way down to cover both sections. If you will notice, we like to print when things have a green frame around them. If you unlock them, I know this photo is good because it has a green frame. We don't like necessarily to print things that have an orange frame or a red frame when it comes to photo, but we've actually done several tests on these larger calendars. And if you stretch your paper just to cover the page and it has this orange border on it, it is okay on these calendars to print with an orange for the background paper. I wouldn't recommend it for a photo, but for the background papers, they print just fine on these products. Let's see what else. Okay, let's do an import page. Let's go down to, let's go to a September. I know I've got a school one. Okay, so let's just, I'm going to delete everything off of this page for now. So I'm just going to select all, which is Control A. I'm going to unlock and I'm going to delete that. So I'm starting with a clean page. So if you're starting with a brand new blank calendar, for an import page, you're going to go to My Projects, and you're going to go to My Unfinished Projects, and let's see, what did I have here? What did I call that? Oh, Back to School. This one's by Carrie Peratt. So all we're going to do is we're going to say Import Page, and yes, Import Page, and you can do this with any of the 12 by 12 pages, or you can actually do them with 8 by 8 scrapbook pages as well, and just scale them up. So this one, it almost fits in just perfectly. If you go ahead and check, just make sure that the paper, it covers all the way to the edges. It dropped in perfectly. Let's just take this green paper and we're gonna unlock it. Let me turn off the toolbars. I'm gonna grab the bottom and see how if I hold the shift key down, it's kind of doing the disproportional thing. I'm stretching it all the way down so it covers the background. So just like that. Okay, let's see. Oh, I made it wider. That's okay too. Let's see. Then I want to go back to my another page that I have. Oh, I didn't save it. Okay. Let's go to, I'm going to grab another calendar grid here. I am going to do a copy, and then I'm going to go back. Actually, I'm going to grab the calendar and this background paper. I'm going to do a copy so it keeps consistent with the design. And if I do edit, let's see, edit, paste special, paste in place, it drops that same calendar grid and paper in the exact same location. So you've got it placed identically to the other one. So you'll want to do that, and then you're just going to drag and drop and replace your calendar grid with the right one. So I hope that makes sense to everybody.
Yeah, it looks like we figured it out. That's awesome.
Okay, great. I know there's so much to learn, but go back and watch those archive classes. You know, even though maybe the class is titled Wedding, I talk about studio features in there, so it doesn't always apply to feature. Most of the studio techniques apply to any project that you're working on.
Absolutely, yeah. And the more you fiddle around and try things out on your own, the more you'll learn, and it will soon just become as simple as Roxanne makes it look. So let me just give away a few more points here before we say goodnight. I've got Judy, I think it may be Hope or Hop. I'm sorry, Judy, but I think you know who you are, and I'm so glad you joined us, and we'll get Brooke to put 25 points in your account tonight. So thanks, Roxanne. This was a great class.
You're welcome.
What can we look forward to with you next month?
Well, now that we've gotten started with calendars and they've kicked us off, next month on November 13th, we are having our holiday greetings class. So we will have all the holiday greetings you can imagine, and the timing is just perfect for you. You will have working on or have gotten your family photos taken or know which photo you want to use. We will show you how to set up your greeting card or your holiday invitation, and you'll be ready to go and have them out in plenty of time for the holidays.
Wonderful. Well, we'll look forward to that, and thanks again, Brooke, and thanks everyone for joining us, and a special thanks to Roxanne for this excellent class once again. So we'll see you next month. Have a good night.
Thank you, Cynthia, Brooke. I appreciate everything.
You bet.
All right,
good night,
everyone.